Well, college graduation season is officially behind us, and many young adults are now entering the real world. Some of them may be financially independent for the first time in their lives, but financial responsibility is not something that's necessarily taught in college. And so to help us break all of that down, we are joined by financial advisor Jared Butterworth from Northwestern Mutual. Jared, thanks so much for joining us here.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Jared, let's get right to it. What do you expect recent graduates to experience as they enter the real world?
Yeah, that's a great question. I'll just say there's going to be a lot of change going from being in college to the real world. One thing is the most important. It's going to be having a crucial and important set of your finances. I think that's one thing that when you're in college you don't really think about. There's a lot of focus on going through school and passing classes, but having a really good hold on your finances is something that's going to set them apart.
Yeah, and Jared, what should recent grads know about financial planning? They're starting out so early in their lives and career, but they still have to think ahead.
Yeah, there's a couple really small things that are able to help college students prepare for the real world, such as budgeting and just having an emergency fund. Some of the things that we don't really think about when we're incurring those typical college expenses. So those are two areas that I would definitely focus on if you're coming right out of college.
We also know that the federal student loan repayment is expected to come back over the summer. What are maybe some strategies that kids can use as they're graduating to really tackle that? Because that's a huge, payment that they're looking at and could linger for years, if not decades, if they don't get on top of it.
Absolutely, and it's a really stressful subject, I would say, for most folks about to graduate college. And I would say one thing you need to figure out is whether you have private or federal student loans first to start, because there is typically a 6-month grace period for those federal student loans for you to figure out, how am I going to pay these? What's the best strategy there? And so one thing that I would focus on is how can we actually pay those down the most effective way? So having a good idea on interest rate, the loan type, and the company that you're doing with is going to be really important.
Yeah, and I think also a reminder for those graduates, keep your expenses low as long as you can, especially when you're first starting out. Jared, now how can graduates protect themselves financially after they graduate college? They may not think they have anything to protect.
Right, absolutely. And I would say the first place to start is just with that emergency fund. There is going to be a lot of expenses that pop up that weren't on the college campus with you. If your car breaks down, if something happens in the short term, I want to make sure that I have at least 6 months of my fixed expenses saved up in cash. If that incurs, I'm going to not go into bad credit card debt or any bad debt. I'm going to be able to pay it in cash, not have to worry about it. Then outside of that, if it's even longer term, there's disability and life insurance to make sure that family, loved ones, and other debts are taken care of.
Yeah, because it's so easy. Sometimes you think that first job's the one, you land it, and then you get there and you're like, ugh, maybe I don't want to do this. Or they decide maybe you're not the best fit. So it's great just to be, as you said, low overhead and planning for the future. Right. Jared, thanks so much for being with us. Jared Butterworth from Northwestern Mutual. We appreciate you being here today.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.